Hello and welcome to the 6 p.m. conference call. That's 6 p.m. Pacific, making it 9 p.m. Eastern. This is a conference call that we do every weeknight at around 6 p.m. Pacific. And basically, the only time that we don't do it is if there is a holiday, like there was this past Monday, or some sort of event that will supersede this. So if we're having a big event or something, that would supersede the conference call on that particular day, on the day of the events. We are going to keep going forward with this tutorial format for the next few weeks, and in so doing, we're going to shorten the conference call. The 6 p.m. conference call will basically go from 6 p.m. Pacific to 6:30 Pacific, making it 9 to 9:30. And as we have been doing, the conference call the recording of the conference call will be up on our YouTube page, which is the Power to Change, POWER, the number 2, and then CHANGE, and then we'll put that up every day. Today's conference call will be added to the listing for the customer overview. So we have a particular series of videos in a playlist on our Power to Change channel, and this will be the 7th video in that series. We'll do one more tomorrow, and we're using this format of these quicker conference calls, basically because there's a lot of meetings before and after this conference call that we need to kind of shorten the conference call, because mostly what we're doing is pointing to videos that we already posted up, so we don't need to have it be a full hour in general. And in general, the Q&A aspect of the conference call is via our American support at FlexKom.com. So if you have a question that you want to have addressed on the evening conference call, then send an email to American support at FlexKom.com. That's American support at FlexKom.com. Ladar, basically the head of support, will compile the 5 or 10 most asked questions for that 24-hour period, or that period like on a Monday after the weekend. The number 1 question, number 2, and so forth. We'll have a top 10, but in this shortened format, we'll probably only be able to get to the first 5. And then the rest of the time will be spent going over things that we've deployed in our Power to Change or in the back office, or pointing to a tutorial video, something like that that we have going on. If you have any meetings, please send those to American support at FlexKom.com. That's American support at FlexKom.com, and we will post those up in the back office and on our social media sites, so Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and so forth. We use all those all the time for our brand management and for our search engine optimization, which is going quite well, and we're about to shift into another gear where that's concerned. So the new format going forward is a half-hour format, so we can get more meetings done and progress more quickly with things that we're doing for the website and for the opportunity itself. And then Q&A is done through the FlexKom support systems, the American support at FlexKom.com. And then the lion's share of what the conference call will be talking about videos that we just deployed, or responding to the most frequently asked questions over the last since the last conference call. So that's probably the best way to say it. So since the last conference call, whatever the top 10 questions are, that's what we'll cover. So if you have a question, definitely submit it to American support at FlexKom.com, and we will basically use that modality to make the Q&A happen as well. Okay, so one of the most asked question over the last 24 hours is, can I please have the DMR special? And then other people asking, what is the DMR special? So basically, if you want to send an email to American support at FlexKom.com with the subject line of just DMR special, so your DMR if you're a reseller, a partner, and it came up in a couple of days ago in speaking with Larry and Mr. Marshall, that we wanted to have like basically a listing of all the various things that you can engage yourself in, or your prospects, or your partners, upline, downline, sideline, like we talk about. And so that's what the DMR special is. If you send an email into American support at FlexKom.com, we'll send you a reply that has links to each of the 3 playlist types that we have: the customer overview, the certification series, how to sign up and activate a merchant, and the FlexKom, the DMR independent rep, and the certification, and the customer overview. Those are the 3 playlists that we would send you in that link. We're not going to send you the other two, which are the liked videos and the FlexKom, the Power to Change. Those change, and they're done by YouTube. YouTube decides what goes into those two video playlists, so we'll leave those alone. You won't get a link to that, but you will get a link to our Power to Change channel. So you will have four things there. You'll have the Power to Change channel link, and then you'll have specific links to each of these playlists that we did for those specific purposes, for a partner signing up a customer, for a partner signing up another partner, and for a partner signing up a merchant. You'll have those three. Plus, you'll have links to our Facebook page, our Twitter site, I don't think we have our Pinterest in there, or our LinkedIn. Those were basically, Pinterest is not the sort of thing that, and Instagram, they're not the sort of things that are best used like Facebook. So we do have accounts in Pinterest and Instagram and so forth, but they're not as powerful for marketing and getting information out there as Facebook and Twitter. So those are the main two there. Yes, we do have a LinkedIn, but LinkedIn's rules are somewhat difficult to manage when you're trying to promote and get people to sign up for something. So we're kind of steering clear of LinkedIn as far as using it to promote. But when you get that DMR special, you have all these links in one place. As we progress and move forward, the links will change. So just know that if you send that in, that's the most asked question via American support at FlexKom.com over the last 24 hours is either send me the DMR special or what is the DMR special? And we send it to you anyway. And that's what it is. It's basically just a couple of quick links that you can send out to people that you want to have become engaged or re-engaged with FlexKom and all the information that we have for you. All right. So let's see. Got to give the disclaimer. Anything that's said on this conference call can be repurposed as FlexKom sees fit. Although it's mostly me talking for the next few weeks at least. My name is Larry Skinner. I'm the Chief Operations Officer for FlexKom America, headquartered in Henderson, Nevada. And we do have an open office policy, so you can drop by. We have people, so far, somebody has dropped by, at least one person has dropped by every day for the past few weeks. So you're more than invited if you happen to be in the Las Vegas area. We're about a 20-minute cab ride from the Strip, and you're more than welcome to come and join us. When you are coming here, if you have more than 3 people in your party, then please send an email to American support at FlexKom.com and let us know how many people are in your party and about when you're going to arrive. We have had it to where we've had literally over 100 people here that just came in out of the blue on one day, and we, for the fire marshal's sake, we want to make sure that we kind of control that. So if you do have a lot of people coming in, or you have 5 people coming in, but it happens to be something like as you get near the 4th of July or New Year's, that's when Las Vegas fills up. Normally a town of 2 million people, we go to about 3 or 4 million people on those weeks. And so I believe when we had all those people show up, it was around the time of one of those giant events, the rodeo, NASCAR, Fashion Week, one of those things, and the town filled up, and we had so many people in here you couldn't move. So we need to kind of control that. So if you have more than 3 people in your party, then send us an email telling us how many people in your party and when they're going to arrive. All right. So today we put up a new video in the customer overview. Basically, it's just the audio of yesterday's call and the call from the day before. So those are up there for you. You can we rearranged the order for those. So basically, if you're trying to get a customer to take a look at us, that's what this playlist is for. For 2 purposes. One purpose is to teach the partners and the merchants what the customer gets, why they should sign up, and so forth. If you just want to kind of cut to the chase, that 2-minute video, the first video that's in customer overview, is what you want to send to a customer prospect. You want to, if it were me, I'd be sending him that video, and I'd include in that email my permanent QR code, my static QR code, so that they could just kiss my code, and an explanation above the QR code saying you download the Flex Dash Card app from the iPhone store or the Android store, install it, and then click on scan image to scan this QR code and become a customer and get all the benefits that you heard about in that video. And then follow-ups would be, I would actually, with a customer, myself personally, I would actually engage with them directly and either try to kiss them in real time at the place, but if they say, I don't want to kiss you yet, or I want to look at this more, then I would capture their email address and send this off to them. I would probably have it to where on my phone, while I'm still talking to that person that I tried to kiss and failed, I would be able to send it from my Yahoo or my Gmail account. I'd have this video in an email ready to go. All I have to do is put the name of the email address of the person and their name in it, and then send it off. And it already has the URL, the link for this particular merchant version of the FlexKom America overview, and it already has my QR code in it. And then I just make a copy of it and send it out to each person. That's how I do it that way. If you can't complete the KISS and sign them up immediately, then you have this as a follow-on to capture them later, have them look at this and then sign up at will later on. And this gives them all the tools that they need in order to be able to do that themselves. So when you're looking at the rest of the information that's inside a customer overview, we're going to have one more video in there tomorrow, and that will basically kind of give a complete in there we have two videos, one telling how to collect the discount with a Flex card, a physical card, and the other one showing how to collect a discount with the Flex app. So those might be things that you'd want to include in that video, that email that you send off to a customer prospect. When you're talking to a merchant prospect, we're probably going to have those two videos in the merchant tutorial as well. But if you're talking to a merchant prospect, I'd send them that merchant version of the FlexKom America overview, and I'd send them the customer making a transaction on the Flex card with a Flex card, and the other one with the Flex card app, so that the merchant can see how just spot-on simple it is to do the transaction. If you're explaining this to a merchant, you did a face-to-face, you visited a merchant, you talked about it, and now you're sending them a follow-up video, you may have explained what the terminal is and how it works, but for them to see, all they do is enter the amount, and then they decide, talking to the customer, whether the customer is going to collect with a card or with an app. And these videos are about 2 minutes long on average. But that's longer than it actually takes to do the transaction. You just type in the number and then click collect with card, for example, and then they pull out their card and the system scans the card, and then the transaction's done. It's amazing. It's simple. It's straightforward, and this will embolden the merchant to sign up with you. They're going to go, well, wait a minute, this is incredibly simple, but the type of marketing that I get is so powerful that I wouldn't want to pass this up, and it will take that the fear of how complex the transaction might be, or how it might slow down each transaction at the cash register. They'll be able to see that it doesn't. It won't affect their cash register flow at all. Even if because on the one with the Flex Card app, I actually downloaded the Flex Card app while I was explaining how to set up to do the transaction, and before I even finished the transaction, the download had happened, even though I only had one bar of connectivity, and it was just finishing up activating itself. It was checking for updates when I pulled the phone back up and was ready to then click on scan to complete the operation. So it's just that fast. You always want to use that Flex-Card app when you're kissing. If you're a merchant, you're going to tell them to download the Flex-Card app, because it takes only a couple of seconds, really, less than a minute to download and install. And that's very critical to your flow at the cash register. You don't want to have somebody downloading a 20 megabyte plus Flex app. The Flex app is 20 megabytes. That's the one with all the maps and all the other features. The Flex-Card app is basically for kissing, getting that person to create their account quickly and get their discount, and then you get to the next customer. So it just like in the video, it's very fast. In less than 2.5 minutes, the whole thing's done with over-explanation included. So you're looking at a very powerful system, very simple to explain. And there in that customer overview, you have 3 things that you might want to include in an email that you send to a customer and or an email that you send to a merchant prospect. So if you have a customer prospect, then you could send that. If you have a customer who did sign up they kissed completely and they wanted to know more about it, then I would send them that information about how the kissing process happens and so forth. So it's very useful. It'll be more useful after we get our last video in there tomorrow. We will be shooting more videos into each of these tutorial playlists. So for the DMR Independent Representative Training, we have a couple more videos that we want to put in there about how you pay out your commissions, because, we didn't post that up today. And we also want to do the same for the merchant side. So we've shown you with the merchant side, the certification series, how to sign up and set up a merchant. In there, we want to add a couple of videos, one about how to pay yourself, the other about some ancillary things that have come up. People have written in to American support at FlexKom.com and have pointed out there's a couple of things that we should probably add in there. Once again, when you're signing up a customer, we talked about this all this week, but it is absolutely critical that the customer completes the sign-up. That is to say that they give a real email address. So when they're typing in their email address, they want to make certain it's an email address that they still remember how to log into, for example, and that they're spelling it right. That if it's John_Smith.Jones at gmail.com, they need to get the underscore right and the dot and all those things correct, spell them correctly, and this needs to be an email account that they can log into. The most common issue that comes up is where the person doesn't enter the correct email address. That way they never receive the PIN code and the card number. And the second thing that happens, the second most common mistake that happens, is that they do enter the email address correctly, but they enter the email address that they don't remember the password to, or that they don't frequent. So when they get home and they're looking for the email with their card number and their PIN code number, they're looking in their main account at Gmail, for example, but they actually entered a Yahoo email address. So they entered a real email address, but it was for an account that they don't ever that they don't frequent, and so they never see that they got the email. The email usually arrives within less than a minute on average. Okay, so when you're looking at that, again, we want to make sure they have the right email address, the right information there. Earlier this year, we had people entering the incorrect email addresses for whatever their reason. Also, they were entering phone numbers that were not mobile numbers. So when you're entering a mobile number, it needs to be a mobile number. It doesn't have to be a smartphone, but the number that you're entering as a mobile number needs to be a mobile number, not a landline number. And it also, basically, as long as the person has a flip phone or smartphone, flip phones, as you may remember, for many of you, you don't have a flip phone anymore. Some of you may have a flip phone. They do receive, they're able to receive text. So they will be able to receive text messages, and so when our system is verifying them, the system will be able to verify that they are a mobile number. If it cannot, like if their phone is very ancient, not even a flip phone, then there's nothing. Then they don't want to enter that number. They basically want to enter a mobile number that's either a flip phone or a smartphone. Smartphone is best, but if it's a phone from before the flip phone period, then it's not going to work. And also, it only works on, as far as the app only works on Android phones and iPhones. If your customer is on an iPhone and when they try to go to the App Store on their iPhone and they type in FlexKom and then they find the FlexCard app and they try to install it, and their phone says, well, you need to update your operating system, there is no simple workaround for that. In all probability, they will be able to just download the app in just a couple of seconds and install it in a couple of seconds, and everything's fine. If they're getting a notification saying that they need to update their operating system on either Android or an iPhone, then it's probably a good idea to take the update. The update is not just so that our app can work. In general, the average update that for an Android or an iPhone is a security-related update. So if they, for whatever reason, don't like to take updates, then they are not doing themselves a service in general. Most of the updates are to fix a problem or to add some feature or fix a previous update. So if they don't take updates, then they're not helping themselves. You may have two people who have the same model phone, and it could be a couple years old. Like my Android phone is about 4 years old, 5 years old almost, and it still works. The app still works perfectly fine on it, and it doesn't ask me to get an operating system update, and that's because I had incremental updates with different apps that I had added in over time. So if somebody is on an iPhone or an Android and they take apps every couple of weeks or months, then sometimes they're getting little micro updates, little small updates in these when they're adding these pieces of software, these apps to their phone. And so when they have to go and do something like add the FlexKom app, they're not prompted to download and do the full update of the OS to the next version, because they had incremental updates where they're good enough to take the FlexKom update, the FlexKom app, without an update. So it's a matter of there's on the Android side, there's probably like 50 or 60 different versions of phones, maybe 100, 200 versions of the phone, and there's maybe 300 to 1,000 different versions of operating system that can be out there. People incrementally on different versions of the operating system, and this could lead to somebody not being able to, 1 in 50, 1 in 100, not being able to take the Flex app, the Flex Card app, without updating their operating system. It's very rare. We haven't, personally, I haven't seen it where it asks for that. We have received email at American support at FlexKom.com where people are asking, should I take the update? Our recommendation is yes, take the update, because not only will your Flex Card app load, but you're also more secure. Your phone is less hackable if you take these updates. And if you actually read what's in the update, you'll see some major percentage of it, most of that update, are security updates, patching some hole in the operating system that some hacker has abused. And now you have a shield against that, so definitely take the update. All right, so once again, Android phones and iPhones. If you have a Windows phone, you cannot load the app onto the phone itself. We don't have a version for the Windows phone operating system. We don't have a version for the BlackBerry. If you were to ask Microsoft or BlackBerry what is the most popular operating system for a phone, they would tell you, well, 95 to 98% of all the phones in America are either Androids or iPhones. That's it. It's very rare that you have somebody with a Windows phone or with a BlackBerry. It's even hard to remember BlackBerry because there's so few of them around. But as far as if somebody has a Windows phone, can they load the app onto their phone? No, they cannot. But can they sign up as a partner and then kiss somebody with their even though they have a Windows phone? The answer is yes. 2 different ways they could do that. So they sign up either on their phone or on their computer. They go to FlexKom.com and they click on Partner Sign Up, for example, and then they this is for a partner. For a customer, currently right now, they cannot do it. They need to get a card from a merchant in order to do it with a Windows phone or a BlackBerry. Why can't I remember that? BlackBerry. So if they're a customer prospect and they want to get the app on their phone, they won't be able to do it on a BlackBerry or on a Windows phone. They'd have to get the card from a merchant in order to participate. If they want to be a partner, then yes, they can use their BlackBerry as long as that BlackBerry is able to get up on the Internet. Because they would just simply go and log into their partner account and then click on QR code, and then they can display the QR code on their phone. But once again, best practice for a partner is to print out their QR code on a cardstock and laminate it and have that ready to go. So even if their phone is a Windows phone or their phone is a BlackBerry, they can print out their QR code and laminate it, have it in their wallet or purse, and be able to kiss people ad nauseum, no problem. If they want to pull up the QR code on their phone, even on a Windows phone, even on most BlackBerries, they would just go to www.flexkom.com, click on Partner Login in the lower left-hand corner, log into their account, scroll down to the bottom of the page in their back office, and click on QR code, and there they are. There's their QR code, and they can just show that to their customer prospect, and the customer prospect downloads the Flex-Card app, and they are in business. So yes, a Windows phone would use the internet to get to their QR code, and the same is true of a BlackBerry. If the BlackBerry has one of those really small, really super small screens, the QR code being displayed from there may not have the resolution, because those BlackBerry phones don't have very high resolution on those screens. So the probability is that the QR code will not display properly. It'll be a pixelated QR code. Strange term, but that's what it would be. So basically, if the screen is like about 1.5 inches by 2 inches or around those dimensions, it's not going to work because the resolution of the phone is not high enough to get a clear picture of the QR code. So that person who has that BlackBerry would need to print out the QR code, laminate it, and have that in their wallet or purse, and that's how they can be in this opportunity as a partner and still kiss people, even though they are walking around with a BlackBerry Dinosaur or one of those very strange and rare Windows phones. All right, with that being said, kissing is a doable thing no matter what phone you have. Basically, you just log in online, at home, on a computer, print out your QR code, laminate that, have that at the ready. And otherwise, on an iPhone or an Android phone, you can produce your QR code very quickly just by logging into your app. And in fact, I myself have my app active all the time, so that if anybody asks me, I can just show them maps and whatever. And you may want to consider that as well, that you're always logged into your Flex app, the big one, the 20 megabyte plus sized app, because then you could just show people the features of the Flex app, the big app. All right, so those are the things that we wanted to cover. But once again, in order to do Q&A, send an email to AmericanSupport@FlexKom.com with any questions as bullet points. We don't need a lot of background, by the way. You might be amazed, but in general, we kind of know what you're talking about. We just need bullet points for what your exact questions are, your specific, succinct questions, and we'll answer them in bullet point fashion as well. And if you have any statements or suggestions, you can also send those in. And if you're putting together a meeting or an event, send an email to AmericanSupport@FlexKom.com and say, I'm trying to put together an event, and here's my information, and I want you to put that up on Facebook and so forth. We need your permission to put your information up on Facebook, so make certain that you're clear in that email that you want us to promote your meeting or event. And we will do so. You'll see it all over our Facebook page and Twitter, and you'll also see it in the back office under event. So in the event calendar, you'll see it there. So anybody that has any meetings or events coming up in the month of September, go ahead and send those to us, and we will get them in the back office as quickly as possible. All right, so we're at about 6:28 here, so we're going to wrap this up. Tomorrow we will have this conference call at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And once again, Friday is usually very lightly attended. It's going to be a pretty short call, between 15 and 30 minutes on average. Our conference calls will go for just about 30 minutes for the next few weeks, because we have so many things that we're working on that we need to focus on those things, get those things done and out. My name is Larry Skinner. I'm the Chief Operations Officer for FlexKom America Incorporated, headquartered in Henderson, Nevada. Come on by the office if you're in the Las Vegas area. We will do this again. And once again, anything said on this conference call can be repurposed as FlexKom sees fit. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.